This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by HostGator. Coming up, we continue our week-long coverage of E3 2012. Rad
We had a huge, massive day here, our second day on the show floor at E3. Wow, this is the day that got me really excited. I have to admit, yesterday I was a little bit like, oh wow, there really wasn't a ton of stuff.
Yep.
Today
was the day of ton of stuff.
Another day where you were on G4. Hopefully everybody in our audience was watching Alex on G4. So another day where we were split up.
And I got some sweetness.
Well, why don't you start out with some sweetness?
First off, the sweetest of the sweet. Because I'll talk about Need for Speed Most Wanted handheld when we're talking about that, because that's kind of blowing my minds, and I think Dan's going to be his new pocket friend. But I got to go see the new adventure game being created by Ron Gilbert, who did Monkey Island and all those great old adventure games, but being done by Tim Schafer's Double Fine. So it really is like a sandwich of all. I mean, it's like you can't get any better than that. And I got to see it actually being played. It is gorgeous. I mean, from the word one, glorious. It's hysterically funny. It's basically the whole game is about a sentient cave and 7 travelers that are all coming to the cave for a thing that they desire.
Okay, so everybody's got something different.
Everybody's got something.
I want the brains, you want the heart.
Exactly. And they're amazingly funny caricatures. There's like a hillbilly that's looking for love. There's a knight that's looking for treasure.
That's awesome.
There's an adventurer, a time traveler.
Is it basically a platformer, or how's it?
So the gameplay look like a platformer?
It's a platform adventure game. Right. And what you do is you start the game by choosing 3 of the 7 characters to play. So you are always playing 3 characters at any time. Yeah, like Trine. Except each of the characters has their own world within the cave. So if you play the knight, you get to go to this whole medieval castle that exists underground in this cave.
That's awesome.
If you don't choose to play the knight, you see little hints of a medieval castle, but you can't get into the medieval castle.
So there's 4 places you can't go at no matter what.
At any given time, exactly. But you see those 4 places. So each character has its own story, but also, and all the puzzles can be solved in a matter of different ways, a ton of different ways.
Right.
But not only that, each character has their own special ability, which then allows them to tackle puzzles in a totally different way. So it's
like trying with a sense of humor.
Get over here, or I need the chicken egg, and
you know what? Like one of them was that they showed off in the demo was the hillbilly found this guy, this like bad guy that killed him. When you die, the world doesn't stop. You don't load a save game. You just get, literally, your spirit gets teleported about 20, 30 feet backwards, and then you're back.
That's cool.
Instantly. So there's no death penalty.
Interesting.
But the world keeps going on. So like this monster breathes fire, he dies and moves over, but the monster's still finishing his breathe fire and going about his business while I'm flying over here.
Wow.
And so the way that you had to figure it out was you had to find this bucket of water that you had acquired from all this different stuff that then you power.
So it does like an adventure
a hot dog dispenser that then dispenses a hot dog, then you put on a stick, you grab a crane.
We got a lot of games to get to.
Amazing stuff.
That sounds rad.
It's amazing.
That sounds super rad.
And anytime your friends are over, they can pick up the controller and now they're playing one of the characters. Another person,
that's cool.
now they're playing
one of the 3 you
characters.
chose.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Online?
They didn't say.
Very, very, very cool. We started the day with Halo 4.
That's right. Nice. How was that?
What they showed off was the Spartan Ops. I wanted to say Spec Ops, Spartan Ops, which is super cool. They have figured out how to do episodic content. It's going to have a new episode every single week that starts with a fully CG scene that continues the story that you've been watching, and then you have a mission or 2 that is
that online
around
co-op?
that. Online co-op up to 4 people built around that. It looks really, really cool.
Yeah,
the
it looks
gameplay
cool.
is really, really cool. Man, I feel like the amount of content they're putting out, I feel like that's how you do episodic.
Yeah, and it sounded as if this...
It got me really
This
jazzed.
isn't DLC. This is
there's a whole
in the
season.
box.
They said months, not weeks.
Yeah.
And then if there's a
Got
season
it.
2, that may be DLC, but so cool looking.
Yeah.
I got really jazzed about that. That really
That's cool.
got
That's
me
good to
going.
know because I've sort of been a little Luke on Halo 4.
I like the story surrounding it was because you're a Spartan, you're not like Master Chief, and it felt like, I get this. It felt a little like
I'm
Academy.
military that I can relate to.
Well, you also
Accessible.
you start
Sci-fi
off
accessibility.
Yeah.
You start off doing simulated stuff as a trainee, and then it's like now we're into live fire, and it's like a story that continues.
Cool.
Really, really cool.
It's kind of cool.
We stepped in and checked out Darksiders 2.
Oh,
Super excited! You're gonna like this.
I'm excited.
Darksiders 2 has loot. They've added
I
loot
like that.
to the mix.
That's
so
smart.
you're leveling up all your skills. You get
love loot.
boots that add 2 to whatever. You get awesome weapons, and you can share weapons. It's still a single player game only, but you can share weapons online with your friends.
Yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
so
The
awesome
experience.
looking.
Yeah, look great. And
Yeah.
I loved the first Darksiders.
Yeah.
Dan,
Yeah.
tell me about Star Trek. You and Mike went
Oh,
to see
that's
Star
right,
Trek. I'd
Star
seen it in
Trek.
Vegas, but they showed something new. I
Yeah,
think.
you're on Vulcan. You see they unveiled the alien bad guys in this game are based off of the aliens from the first episode, I think. The Grak
Of the old show?
Of the old show.
Interesting.
The Grak or something, lizard-like.
Oh sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wish
yeah.
you guys were there.
That was super rubber suit guy.
Yeah, really awesome. We got it. The deal. They're really excited about it being Kirk and Spock. It's co-op.
Asymmetric. is the
Asymmetric.
buzzword of the year.
Spock is doing something very different than what Kirk is doing. We watched the demo, big screens in 3D, and it looked great in 3D, I must say. One of probably the only thing we've seen at E3 so far in 3D, actually.
Other than 3DS. Yeah.
Last year was super 3D town.
Yeah,
Everything
everybody's
was-
sort of.
So this looked great in 3D, and we were able to see what Kirk was doing, what Spock was doing side by side, and I do get what they mean, why they're stressing the asymmetrics, because they are doing very different things, and it does.
But you're doing
feel-
it at the same time,
Yes.
right? Like I'm playing co-op, you're online, I'm online, I'm just
Yeah.
doing something, you're doing something.
It's not
But you can also-
asynchronous, it's asymmetrical.
Got it, yeah.
But you can also play through the campaign as Spock and then go and play through it again as Kirk,
Yeah.
and it's a very different game.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fun, a lot of fun, like story-oriented moments. It mattered why they were fighting, who they were fighting to
Interesting.
me just watching.
Okay.
So other cool stuff.
Yeah, other cool stuff.
Well, Need for Speed.
Need for Speed. Well, we spent a lot of time at EA,
Yeah.
and boy, Need for Speed looks awesome.
Need for Speed looks
Most
awesome.
Wanted, of course, is the Criterions. It really does look like the spiritual successor to Burnout Paradise, the game we all liked.
Yeah, and it's great. And we got hands-on playing it, and boy, playing it, even more fun than not playing it. Sorry, Dan. But I have to say, I went to EA and did some mobile stuff. Saw FIFA 13 on the iPad, which was actually quite amazing. Definitely something I would get for my iPad. And Scrabble for the iPhone, which great.
Doesn't already exist.
It does.
I
New
kinda have
Scrabble.
it.
New Scrabble.
New
But
Scrabble.
check this.
They added
Teacher
letters to the
mode.
alphabet.
Teacher mode. When you play play something, it goes, interesting. This is what you should have played to get the most words.
Oh.
Oh, I like
Genius.
that. I really like that.
Genius.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't even know that was a word.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a definition as well. Anyway,
You're
but
so-
what I wanted to say was Need for Speed Most Wanted on the iOS. I was shocked. One, looks gorgeous. I mean, it looks like
it-
a PS3 game or an Xbox 360 game.
It's exactly the same type
exactly
of
the
game.
same
Do you
type of
steer
game.
with this?
Steer
or-
like this.
Tilt to 'em. I mean, you can
Tilt to
tap,
zoom,
sure.
right?
Tap to steer?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I do in all my racing games.
Tap to brake, right? So steering was
Yeah.
very easy.
None of this sounds good to me.
Tap to brake. This was way easier than you think. Tap
None
to
of it sounds
brake.
like something I want, though.
This is drift. This is nitro. So much fun. But here's the thing: auto log. So if I break a record in here, you see it as a broken record in Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Yeah.
You mean on my
Doesn't-
console?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that I
Cross-platforming
broke the
stuff,
record
yeah.
on my handheld, so I could be out there trying to get better times while I'm sitting on a bus. And all of a sudden,
you were gonna say toilet.
I love butt.
You were gonna say
I was gonna
toilet.
say taxi, but then I was like, when am I on a taxi?
Toilet.
Toilet.
But the,
So the
mainline console
so
version.
going back to that, my two favorite racing games of all time that I've said on the show, whenever we review other racing games, are Need for Speed Most Wanted, and I've been bummed that it's Hot Pursuit, it's whatever the other one was, The Run. Give me Most Wanted.
Yep.
Okay, so we have Most Wanted, and what is it like? My other favorite game of all time, Burnout Paradise.
They made a Dan sandwich.
But it's not just like Burnout Paradise in making it open world, which Need for Speed Most Wanted kind of was anyway. It was the big island that you were outrunning cops on. But it has the thing that we loved, which was the challenge mode of Burnout Paradise, where we would be hanging out in our cars and you got to do a double jump off of this ramp that's hidden in this cranny in the world. And Alex and I would have just done it, and now we got to wait for Jeff to do it, and he's doing, and it's like, it was very communal and fun, and like skaters in a skate park, but with cars. But it's even better in this, where it's like you got to race to get to the place where you got to do the challenge.
What it will do, it will create a playlist of different events, speed challenges, like who can get the fastest from here to there, who can have the longest jump, and then races, obviously, all kinds of different stuff.
But
It'll populate that.
Here's a speed camera. Who can go fastest through this speed camera before people get knocked out?
Well, that's the interesting thing too, because then you were just going from meet to meet with up to 12 people, they said.
That's crazy.
And then once you've completed either the jump or the speed challenge or whatever it is, you can then go try to take people down. It's not like, I'm done, I'm waiting at the menu for everybody to finish.
No.
You go take them down and it knocks their score right off the leaderboard.
Yep.
It's just a playground.
It's really fun.
And it was instantly fun.
And the
graphics
gorgeous
are
game.
awesome. Gorgeous game.
It's could be the perfect racing game.
Yeah.
It really
it's the
could
game
be.
I want to go home tonight and play.
We saw it running on the PC,
Although
and
there's a couple of those.
It's starting to hit that time we were talking about where you're really starting to feel like, boy, my PC looks a lot better than my 360, than my PS3, than my, you know what I mean?
This is true.
It's starting to feel like that, and it feels really bad because the Nintendo Wii U isn't even out yet. And I'm feeling like, boy, my PC looks so much more better.
Yeah.
So you know they're going to be coming out with
other
new consoles
EA
soon.
stuff we saw, Dead Space 3, which really, boy, does it not look good to me. I don't know. I want you to say that I'm wrong, but it looks more like Lost Planet than it does Dead Space.
Well, it's all that we saw. But
well, it's on a snowy planet.
Yeah.
It's shoot the glowy
But
bits.
I don't know what the whole
it's
thing is.
co-op. It's a shooter.
Yeah.
It's not survival horror anymore, really. What it looks like is a full-on shooter. I mean, he was shooting a rifle, a machine gun.
But he also had the line gun. I mean, I think it was just a slice that we saw. I understand how you feel, but I
was never a huge fan of that series anyway, so take my words with a grain of salt.
There you go. Lick it up.
Crysis 3, on the other hand,
I didn't see that.
My goodness, it's beautiful. It looks like you're playing paintings. It looks like you're playing concept art paintings. It is absolutely stunning.
Once again, saw it on a PC. But
it
looks incredible, and it looks like it plays incredible.
That's always a game that shows you how
usage,
PCs.
Fun abilities.
That's one where it's like, if you can put fans in your PC to be, if you can cool it down enough, it'll play. Crysis has always been that.
Franchise,
And then what is contender for my game of the show?
Yeah.
Sim City.
I've never played SimCities. I mean, I've really
wish you had been in there for this demo.
Yeah.
It looks
You're gonna love SimCity.
incredible.
You're gonna love SimCity. I agree. SimCity and
it looks incredible.
There's 3 epic games we saw today. SimCity and Most Wanted are the games that I want to go home right now and play.
Yeah.
SimCity. Describe it a little bit, Jeff.
Okay, so I mean, people know SimCity is a simulation of a city.
Yeah.
You're the mayor of a city. You're in charge of upkeep of your city, creating different zones. You can make your city specialize in creating energy or creating entertainment, or there's all these different things.
But before, what was like
Go ahead.
Jumping in. Before, what was like the graphics were never amazing, but they were, what you're really looking at was your spreadsheet stuff. You're really looking at, I need this many this and that many that.
Yeah.
And once in a while you'd see a fun graphic, but it wasn't really that.
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
really
fun
why
seeing
you
a tornado destroy your city, but
wasn't really why you bought the game, and
Right.
it didn't happen that often. This is different. This is like you're barely looking at
living,
numbers. You're
breathing
more
city.
really playing Lego. You know, you're like really building this thing.
Well,
but the satisfaction of, it's almost like in like Little Big Planet when you make stuff, like when you need power lines, for instance, you like click your power line and then you hold your button down and it goes zzz, like it's dragging the power
almost
line.
like you're making like taking a stick of chewing gum, putting it in your mouth, chewing it, and then pulling it apart, and sticking it down and pulling it apart some more, and sticking it down.
That's
It's
cool.
But that
and they
is
have this
delightful.
whole tilt shift aesthetic.
Yeah.
So the whole thing looks like this little toy town that you've created.
It's genius.
And it's all the little people will go to work. Some days they'll go to the park. Some days they'll they drop the kids off at school and go, you know, and they all have their little patterns that they do.
And if there's
So
crime
crazy.
in your town, and for instance, and the
If
multiplayer.
there's crime in your town.
So multiplayer, because
Amazing.
if you build a city that's all industrial and there's high crime, your crime, if I'm in a city nearby, which I would be if we're playing, you know, your crime will
So if your
percolate into my
city is
city.
awesome adjacent,
Right.
Yes.
you may
And I'm a
accidentally get some
residential,
blow-off
like
crime.
like
That's amazing.
And
and your
they
crime, like they showed like a
It's
bad
little
car.
bank heist.
Yeah, the car, like bad guy's car, goes from your city to my city on the highway and shows up to my bank, and then my cops come out because I have a good city.
It's
It's like
And
you're
you see
watching this thing happen. It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's amazing.
And,
Okay, I'll play that.
You'll
And
love it.
the other thing that blew my mind, and is exactly what I was hoping would happen with more games, is they took the technology from Spore and they're applying it
Weird.
to, the modular
Yeah.
stuff where you can build,
Yeah.
ships and stuff. They're applying that technology for buildings in the game.
So you can design your own buildings.
So you're like, I want
put buildings
I want an
together.
awesome coal factory, and I'm sticking on this and sticking on that and sticking on that.
That's cool.
Oh my God, it looks so awesome.
It's hard to.
It's hard to top that, and yet,
Yeah.
I think we can all agree
Yeah.
that we saw something that did top that.
But this is not the
Which
game
was
that you
what?
want to go home and play right now.
It is for me.
This is
What are
the
you
game
talking
of
about?
show.
oh,
What are
you're
you
talking
talking
about what I'm about to say.
Oh yeah.
Beyond
Right.
Two
Oh,
Souls.
got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see
So
it because
we
I was
all-
like, I don't know where you're gonna drop
We
down
all
now.
saw the presentation at Sony, and we all, you
Yeah.
can see our episode from 2 days ago.
Oh,
We
yeah.
went out of there excited, but what's the game gonna play like?
Right.
Yep.
Well, we were fortunate enough to be able to spend an hour in a room with David Cage showing us.
Creator of the game.
Yeah, Quantic Dream.
Needs no introduction except for people that don't know who he is.
So needs no introduction except for the people who need an
He's
introduction.
Steven Spielberg, or he's like Wes Anderson. for video.
Visionary, passionate guy, really great, gives great presentations, and we literally saw an hour of gameplay.
Yeah.
They played the game for an hour.
Yeah.
And
How does it play?
it is this mixture of Heavy Rain,
Yeah, it's very similar to Heavy Rain.
but
Move around,
there's a whole nother element.
Right.
So
Smart.
you have
Heavy Rain.
You
Can I
have
say the story very tangibly? I think, even though we only saw a sliver, we only saw a sliver of the story.
Yes.
And sliver of gameplay. We don't know what the rest of the game, because he said
Right.
everything's gonna be like very different as you
Sure.
progress. But the story really feels like Ellen Page plays a girl who is in touch with the other side. She can see ghosts, whatever, and she goes on the run. So it feels a lot like, and the SWAT teams and stuff are after her.
Yeah.
So it feels like Ghost meets The Fugitive. So it's got the action moments from The Fugitive with the emotion and the abilities of Ghost. So there's Ghost mode.
So you can
going to
play.
this.
You play as the ghost in certain sections.
Yeah.
There's sections that are like Heavy Rain, where you're playing as her dealing with things.
Got
Right.
it.
And he was saying we were seeing action moments, but there's going to be stuff like Heavy Rain where you're just like changing the baby's diaper.
Right.
There's going to be that story. It's a story. It's character based,
Okay,
right?
okay,
But
okay.
also there's these sections where you're playing as the ghost, and these are these more sandbox areas where you literally float like a ghost around things, through objects, whatever you want to do, and you control it with the 6-axis. So you're flying. Oh, you don't like this,
Oh,
but
no,
it's
no, you would
awesome. It's
love it.
awesome.
You would love
You're
it.
flying through
Remember
space.
how you felt about Heavy Rain?
And then you can
remember how you felt
manipulate.
before you played Heavy Rain? I'm not gonna like it, and then you played it and you were like, this just changed my life.
But I never
it's-
flew like this in Heavy
so
Rain.
amazing, dude. I'm serious. It's so amazing. And then there's like you see auras of people
Because
and
it-
auras of objects, and you can manipulate certain colored auras in certain ways. So you can knock things out of people's hands, or you can
Oh, it is
strangle
like
a guy,
Ghost.
or you can possess somebody.
Yeah.
Trying to move the
Yes.
you have this
So these are like
Yeah.
puzzle sequences. These are like
Interesting.
big playground sandbox puzzle sequences where like our main character is in danger, and you have to manipulate the world in certain ways that'll affect
Wow.
that
Imagine Heavy Rain
situation.
where you're outrunning the cops. The cops are coming. Okay, now you go into ghost mode and you float around and you see, there's a car, all the cops are by this car. So as a ghost, you charge up and you blast the car into the cops.
Got it.
Or there's a power line that you can blow out the power line and
Got it.
drizzle rain, whatever,
Drizzle
sparks
rain
on them.
sparks.
Or whatever. Or in the train before she escapes the train in the beginning, you can just F with people and like knock the coke can out. And then that character is like, what happened to the coke? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
It's
Cool.
really
Oh my
special.
God.
looking. And the thing about David Cage, it's so clear to me, he's not making games. Because the thing he kept stressing over and over is the thing that I love hearing, no fail states.
Right.
Play the game once, play it your way, whatever happens to you is your story, it'll be completely different than somebody
Heavy
else's
Rain.
story.
Yeah.
He's not making a game. In a game, I'm trying to win. And when I fail, it says game over, and I start my save game again, and I try to win that sequence.
Right.
These are not games. These are interactive
They're stories.
storytelling
Yeah.
experiences,
Yeah.
and I am so excited about having this
Wasn't
master
it Heavy
storyteller
Rain?
do
Wasn't
that.
it Heavy Rain that I was like, You know, it said that it was like so choosy, but I feel like I did everything I was supposed to do, and then we started talking. It was like, wait, what happened in your game?
That's completely different than what
It's hard to describe this game because I feel like in some ways there's no way to convey how amazing it was.
Just like Heavy Rain, you gotta play
I also feel like it's easy to be hyperbolic and then set people's expectations up for.
Well, if you didn't like Heavy Rain, I don't think you're gonna like this game.
Way.
Oh, no.
We all loved Heavy Rain,
Yeah.
and I think, especially from your perspective, I think you kept asking about him about the script.
Right.
Like, it's a cinematic experience, and it is a beautifully expressed.
I mean, it's beautifully shot as a cinematic experience. There's
beautifully
shots
acted
in it that it's like if one were to make the movie, that's exactly how you would do it. It's better than a lot of movie makers would make something. It's beautifully acted, as we said before. I mean, I really feel like she could win an Academy Award for this performance.
It is really something special, and I think that it's telling that they needed to show it to us for an hour to really convey it.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of thing that it's a snippet and you get
it's
it.
not a soundbite.
It's
feel like we saw a snippet.
Narrative experience, and it's really, really special. Yeah. We wrapped the day up with the new Elder Scrolls
Skyrim expansion.
Well, the downloadable content.
Yeah.
Dawn Guard, which is vampiric and stuff, which I'm not really excited about the vampire stuff, although some really cool vampire stuff.
Fun. I mean, fun. Be a vampire.
Wings
it's
flying.
Cool to have. You're flying and you have teleportation and that's
you can
not
summon gargoyles, and I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff to do.
But the flying and teleportation is so odd to be doing in Skyrim,
right?
Which is kind of fun to like be in this world and be doing things that you would be doing in another kind of game.
I gotta say, the coolest thing, and I checked with them to make sure I could say this. This is maybe a tiny bit of a spoiler for the DLC, but I will say, I got to the end of the first mission or whatever mission that they gave us of this DLC, and I got the ability to summon a dragon. A full-size, gigantic dragon. I got a shout that would summon a dragon to my aid.
That's awesome.
That's reason to get that DLC right there, people.
Wowzers.
Forget the vampires. That's awesome.
Wowzers.
Anyway, we got lots more coming for you tomorrow. Alex will be with us the whole day.
Whole day, babies.
We got lots more coming. Be sure to stay here, tune in tomorrow, and also check out Rev3 Games for more E3 coverage.
Bam.
But this is the day where I'm super excited.
E-thrizzles.
Yes.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, HostGator. Can get your blog or website up and running in just minutes with plans starting as low as $3.96 a month. You get 24/7 support and access to a website building tool with over 4,000 templates. They'll even migrate your current site over to HostGator sites for free. Not only that, talk about eco-friendly. These guys are eco-crazy. Their servers are 130% powered by wind energy. They were like, we don't want to just be 100% powered by wind energy. We want to suck energy out of the sky and give it back to the public. And for TRS viewers, which you are, HostGator is offering you 25% off your order or first month completely free. Just go to HostGator.com, enter the coupon code Totally Rad Show, all one word, no spaces, maybe all caps. It is in my
Have you guys noticed that when we have the HostGator sponsorship at the beginning of the show, Mike goes, "It's HostGator!" Rah, rah.
Yeah.
Like, is that the sound that a gator makes? Because I'm not aware of
Probably
that.
not.
I mean, you're from Alabama, you would know.
Yeah.
Arkansas, excuse me.
That's what it is. It's a gator growl. You never heard of gator growl?
Gators in Arkansas.
Yeah, gators in Arkansas are like, wow, wow. I'm going back to the swamp.
I don't know.
Anyway, check it out,
12 things wrong
HostGator.com.
in my sentence. See you guys tomorrow.
In my stenton.
Be sure to check us out tomorrow for more E3 coverage.
Today's Twitter question sent in with the hashtag TRSQ from @Adam_Phillips87 is, out of all the superpowers in the Avengers movie, which is the most useful in everyday life? Most used in mundane life?
Well, there aren't a lot of superpowers in the Avengers movie.
Let me actually ask you this question. What is the Black Widow's superpower?
She doesn't have one. She's a super spy.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
It's just like Hawkeye doesn't really have one either.
Well, but his
Hawkeye's
one...
does. Super awesome vision, no?
No, but he's just really good.
Hawkeye?
He's just a super marksman. He doesn't actually have the eye of
He
a
has to have awesome vision.
He's a super trained super soldier. Not super soldier, spy. He's a spy.
Yeah.
Those two don't have any superpowers. Thor, make lightning, flies, cool to fly, it's fun to fly.
Not for
Iron
Monday.
Man, no superpowers.
Well, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say.
Well, but
Captain America.
Iron Man's superpower is he's extremely
Genius.
wealthy. That would probably be the one that would help with most mundane tasks.
I think Loki has the coolest superpower because it's like, hey guys, I'm over here, and then you walk in and I'm really over there. Oh, the fun we'd have.
No,
We'd
actually,
start calling you Jokey.
if you consider Tony Stark his
Intellect.
intellect as superpower, that is the most helpful.
Yeah.
for sure. More than strength.
That's not superpower. That's like saying Stephen Hawking has a superpower.
No, but no one's as smart as Tony. I mean, no one could do what no one
Can
already
build
in
that
life
thing.
is able to do what he's accomplished. So
Yeah.
he obviously is super powered. Right?
No.
What would you say?
I think,
Yeah, tough
I think
guy.
the answer is, well, Captain America.
First of all.
Boom. I would want to be him because he has strength and agility and he can throw things and make them come back to his hand. But Thor's awesome because he can pick up a hammer and throw it and
Yeah,
fly.
but it's for mundane stuff. I feel like being really
mundane
smart.
stuff. Oh yeah. You want to jump start?
That is mundane.
Boom.
It is
So,
mundane.
so the answer is Thor.